everybody. I am here for a second time. I'm not giving up. This is a challenge for me, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you all online. I had several comments and feedbacks and accomplishments that were sent to me from the last time I was on, so I'm very excited, and I certainly do invite all of those comments for this one also. So in this one, my question to you are you ready to get what you want in your life? And in asking that, here's another thought for you. Are you writing your autobiography or your ought to biography? The definition of an autobiography, according to the dictionary, is an account of a person's life written by that person. Now, I can't find autobiography in the dictionary, but for me, that means, are you letting your life to be written by a lot of ought tos and shoulds as defined by others? And if so, you really need to fire those people uh, because they are the ones that are defining your life for you as opposed to you defining your life for you. And yes, I do know that's not easy to do. Now, last week I received a copy of a friend's book he had just released called The Big How. And in it, he talks about how we all want results. We just don't know how to get them, which is true. And we also want to skip all the stuff in between and get to the finished product. We want the happily ever after without having to go through all the stuff that Cinderella went through to find her Prince Charming. And then we want to stay happily ever after without having to deal with all the tough stuff that we need to deal with to to keep us there, to keep us in that happy state. And when life throws us all the curveballs, which it will do and does, we kind of get upset. So getting what you like, what you really want in life, doesn't happen without working your butt off. But it can be fun. And so the question is, if you're working your butt off anyway, why not have fun doing it? And that's really what I kind of discovered. Lucille Ball said it's a hell of a start being able to recognize what makes you happy. So what is happiness? What makes you or anybody happy? Now, Wikipedia defines happiness as a mental or emotional state of well-being defined by positive or pleasant emotions ranging from contentment to intense joy. Happy mental states may also reflect judgments by a person about their overall well-being. Another defines happiness in terms of living the good life as opposed to an emotion. So whatever the good life happens to be for you. Thomas Jefferson wrote into the U.S. Constitution the right of the pursuit of happiness for all beings as one of our unalienable rights. Most major religious thoughts tells us how we can become happy by following a certain belief. And all advertising is geared to telling us that if we only buy that one product, whatever it may be, that from that dress to that car to that ice cream cone, we will be happy. Yet happiness seems to be elusive to many. I often thought that if I could just get around this corner, this problem, this ridiculous relationship, and I've been in several, then life would begin, real life. But then there's always something else in the way, a ceiling falling down, 3 of them in fact, someone sick and needing help, starting a new business, and just not enough time to take care of all of it. Then I realized, this is my life. These obstacles were part of things that I had created in my life. And if I wanted something different, I had to do something different. This perspective has helped me to see there is no way to happiness. Now, get the word there. No way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Feeling alive and happy that energy leads one to choose actions that result in being your true potential, your greatness. Now, if you're unhappy with the circumstances or people that you are attracting in your life, you have to change some aspect of your life. Duh. Whatever comes into your life is because of who you are. If you want something you've never had before, you have to be something you've never been before. And that, I will tell you right now, is a challenge because I certainly never thought I was going to sit on Facebook Live or some of the other stuff that I've been doing. So let's start thinking about your dreams and your desires. And here are some questions for you to ask yourself. Before I give you the questions, I want to suggest that when you are ready to write down the answers to these questions, that you don't just think them, write them down. And yeah, this may sound like you're journaling, but it's for a reason. When you physically write something, there is a connection to your subconscious. And then the subconscious starts working on bringing that to you. So write it down. We'll talk more about the subconscious in later videos. Now, I've journaled ever since I could possibly write. And I didn't realize back then that there was really a better way to do it, because what I was doing, I was just writing down my daily things, whatever happened to me, people I was having problems with, all the things that I didn't like. So, yeah, some of the good things, like when I had a nice boyfriend or when I got my first kiss or things like that. So they got written in my journal. But it was mostly, I don't like this or I don't like that. And that really is not the way that you want to write your journal. You want to put your positive things in, because that then creates the positive energy that you want to attract into your life. I do a journal every day, and I write in all the things that I want to accomplish in a day, so that brings those things up for me. But I also write positive things, like I want to compliment my husband, or I want to tell somebody how great they were. All those kinds of things. And they trigger things, and then when you give that energy out, you get that same kind of energy back. But here's the key. Whatever you write, you must believe you can accomplish. And that really is the kicker. So I'm going to tell you, it is okay to start small. Start with baby steps until you start developing some success. Because one bit of success leads to another bit of success, and then you really start believing yourself. So I would suggest that if you want to win the grand lotto, you might start with saying and thinking you can win at bingo, and then kind of go on from there. And one thing will just lead to another. Now, so the question number one, there are three of them that we're going to talk about today. Question number one is, what are the 2 or 3 top things that you want in your life now that you don't have? Maybe it's something you've been dreaming of, something that's within range that you want in your life. For number one, for yourself, but also, how does this, whatever you want in your life, going to relate to others? How is this going to help others? Like, for instance, let's say you are in sales and you want to sell your product to help your client. So you hope that this is helpful for them. So let's say you want to make this great big huge sales. But think, how is this going to help the person that's receiving it? Because that's going to create the energy for you to get the big sale that you want. Or if you cook a wonderful meal, how you want people to enjoy it. So those are really good things for you to think about. So question number 2, what is stopping you from having those things in your life? Now, this is the reason and the main thing, because what this does is helps you realize things that are keeping you from having it. And those are the things you're going to have to solve uh, in finding your greatness. So, what's stopping you? Now, my coach, JT, says you need to ask yourself 6 questions when you want to solve a problem. And I really urge you to do these 6 in thinking about what is stopping you from having your greatness. What is stopping you from moving forward in your life? Now, I recently had a thought about something that's stopping me, because oftentimes I find that I will go ahead and put a lot of energy at the beginning of starting a new project. I'm all excited. I'm really wanting to go at it. And then as things start happening and I have things that stop me from getting there, I start to slow down. My energy starts decreasing. So I thought, well, okay, I'm going to put the 6 questions of this and see what I might come up with. So I asked myself, why do I get close to doing something and then I stop? Why do I lose all this energy? And my answer was, this is the surface now. This is my surface question. My answer was, well, I get tired, or it's just too much work for for the benefit that I'm going to get out. And then I said, well, why can't I win? I get this frustration that I'm not good enough to win. Okay, number 3. So why do I let this stop me? And it goes back really to some childhood issues when I was growing up, and my parents telling me, especially my mother, you didn't iron this right. You didn't clean the sink right. We've got to stop that singing. You sing terrible. And she's right, I did, but that's beside the point. So the real thing got to be, so why would I try to succeed at something when everybody's telling me I'm such a failure? Okay? Or that I don't do a good job. So my 4th question then is, why do I believe them? Now, as a child, that's understandable because you still haven't reached the age of being able to determine who you want to be. But as an adult, why would I believe them? Number 1, it's a habit. And it's easier to believe them than to work harder and fail again. Okay? But then I also realize there are some people that will never give me approval. So I had an aha moment. Some people won't recognize my greatness. So should I just give it up for them? So question number 5. Why do I let this stop me from getting what I want? And with everybody telling me that I can't succeed, I don't believe in myself that I can overcome. So my aha moment was, well, if I don't believe in myself, other people aren't going to believe in me. So question number 6, why don't I believe in myself? And what happens there is that creates the loop that goes all the way back to childhood and people telling me I'm not good enough in my believing in that. So the solution then, and you're going to have to overcome all the solutions to your problems or all the reasons for your problems, is I have to reframe that and not let others tell me who I am, not have an ought to biography instead of an autobiography. I determine my own worth, as do you. You're in charge of that. So for me, that was a realization, and I could feel it inside of me, a change that happened just by understanding that I was letting people get away with writing my life. And it's not up to them. It's up to me to write my life. So when you go through these questions and ask yourself, what is stopping you from having what you want in your life? take it through the 6 questions. Take it through very deep and be honest with yourself and write it down so that you can actually see it, so you can go back and reflect on it when you've got more time, or where you want to say, okay, I don't want somebody to write my life for me. And this is the way that I'm going to reframe it. Take that reframe in a positive way and put that in your journal at the top of your journal so that you see it every day and you can start to adjust your subconscious. Now, question number 3. We went through question number 1. What are the top 2 or 3 things you want more of in your life? Question number 2 is, what's stopping you? Now, question number 3 is rather interesting. It says, what would your life look like if you had what you want in your life now? Now, this question is really the beginning of building the life that you want. It's the ground floor of building the structure. And the quicker you start thinking about how you want your greatness, or what you want your greatness to look like and feel like to you, the faster it will happen. Everything uses a plan or a structure of some kind. If you're going to make spaghetti sauce, you need a recipe. Mother Nature creates a tree because of the structure, the plan she put in that seed. Now, I think, especially, and I know I've had this true in my life, most of us function on some kind of haphazard plan that we don't really think about and just kind of hope and pray that we get to where we want to go. Well, if you want to realize your dreams, it takes more than that. You have to build a structure, and that's what we are going to do as we move forward with these videos. You are going to be able to build a structure for the life that you want, for the autobiography you want to write. The other part of that is we're going to have to learn how to stay focused on that. Give ourselves the ability, the skills, the permission to stay focused on what we want and not go off course. And we do that by starting with what we want it to be, and then we're going to build that framework all the way back to where you'll be able to do it, be able to build a step-by-step plan to move you to where you want to go. So start thinking, what do you want your greatness to look like and feel like? And nobody else is in charge of this. Nobody can tell you how to build it or what to build except for you. Now, in thinking about this, you also have to think about what are the positive and negative about building your greatness. When I first started building my greatness, building what I wanted to do for others, I really didn't have a structure. I knew that I wanted to get my coaching degree. I knew I wanted to put it out here. I had absolutely no concept of what social media could do or I needed to do. I couldn't speak in front of people, not without a lot of uhs and oohs and my butterflies in my stomach going absolutely crazy. I had no idea what Toastmaster was or National Speakers Association. I was okay with doing taxes and the mundane things that you need to do around a business because I had done that before. I did that with my recruiting business, so I understood that part. The other part that I had absolutely no concept of was ecologically, how was that going to affect my life? What other things were going to happen. I was, with my recruiting business, I was used to taking off and traveling pretty much whenever I wanted. Yes, I had to take care of clients, which meant Saturdays and Sundays, sometimes evenings, sometimes early in the morning, depending on what that was going. So I was used to that kind of thing. But I was taking it off and traveling. And I didn't think about I'm going to be going to organizations and speaking, and that takes time. That takes being here. I didn't realize how this was going to affect my relationship with my husband because I work a lot now, and he's got to have that flexibility to allow me. He also has to go off and do things that I used to do with him that I can't do now. So both internally and externally, how is what you want going to affect you and others? Your bank account. Do you have enough money to do whatever that you want to do? So those are just all kinds of things. You know, it's great. It is absolutely great. And I did this. I have to confess. When I first started doing what I'm doing, trying to figure out, and it was such a relief to be out of what I was doing that a lot of the external things getting what I want didn't come to me. And now I'm learning. And I'm going to share all that with you. There is a step-by-step process. I do want you to learn by all the missteps that I've done so that you can find your greatness a lot easier and a lot happier. So I wanted to let you know I'm still working on getting the links up for my book, but if you really can't wait, just send me a message and put your email address in there, and we'll get you a book. If you want the full book, send me an email, and I will send it to you, or I'll give you a link where you can click on it and go to it. You can get it off Amazon. I also wanted to let you know that I am doing workshops. What we're talking about, the Finding the Greatness Within, I have put into a 2.5-day workshop, and I will be doing that here in Dallas the 9th, 10th, and 11th of March, and then I'm also scheduled to do it in South Carolina in April. So if you want more information about that, I will have more published, but you can also just ask me. And I see that Cammie is on here. Hi, Cammie. I haven't seen you forever. And Julie, how is Cabo? I'm very jealous. And Angie, hey, great. I am so happy that you guys have come in and joined me. And I see Katie. Wow. Hi, Katie. Keep that running up. You are fantastic. I am so very proud of you. So this is not quite as long as yesterday, but I think there's a lot in it, and I've given you a lot of homework, things for you to think about. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm trying to work through my schedule so that I will be able to be on Facebook Live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm not sure exactly the time yet. I'm hoping to eventually give a one time, and that's what it's going to be. I'm looking at doing 11:30 Central Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be varied because I have some other things that I'd scheduled before I thought about this. And again, what is my life going to look like by doing Facebook Live? We shall see. Thank you all for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I will post this so that you can see it later, and I would appreciate all the shares that you do. So until Wednesday, I will sign off, and best of luck. I'm really anxious to hear. Text me or send me a message. Let me know how you're doing with the questions. And if you didn't get them all down, let me know, and I will send you a copy of them. So best of luck. Have an amazing day.